What's up, everyone, and welcome back. In today's video, I'll be talking about the signs that, when they materialize, you can call yourself among the top 30%. As Joe Rogan said in one of his podcasts, I felt I'd made it when I could comfortably eat at restaurants without financial stress. And while Rogan's worth over $100 million, wealth is subjective. Kendall Mead also shared that the word rich is relative, and it means something different for everyone. For some, it could be being able to afford a particular lifestyle, while for others, it could mean the ability to leave work entirely. But if you're in a country like the United States of America, in a country where most six-figure earners still live paycheck to paycheck, how do you know if you're doing better than most? Well, the first sign is having $5,000 or more in your savings accounts. I know this is not the sexiest topic, but having an emergency fund is so key for financial health. According to a Motley Fool survey, over half of Americans have $5,000 or less in savings. And even crazier, 35% only have $1,000 or less saved. Not exactly a cozy nest egg, right? And since the median savings amount is $4,500, if you've got more than that stashed away, you're above average. This puts you ahead of half of Americans. I mean, hey, in a country where most people don't have much savings, having several $1,000s is an accomplishment worth celebrating. But don't spend that emergency fund on a luxury vacation just yet. Make sure to save enough to take care of 1 year of your expenses before splurging on surprise expenses and weathering financial storms. The next sign is having more than $36,000 in your 401k. I'm sure we're all familiar with the retirement savings account offered through our employer that allows us to put away a percentage of each paycheck to get the money invested and tax-deferred. Our contributions to this account are matched by most of our employers to a certain percentage. But how does our 401k tell us we're above financially? Well, according to a study by Vanguard, the median 401k balance for folks aged 34 to 44 is around $36,000. So if you're in your mid to late 30s and have over 36 grand saved, woohoo! You've done a good job and you're ahead of most people your age, which is awesome. But don't get too excited. Just because you have more saved than your peers doesn't necessarily mean you have enough for retirement. The reality is, you have to save big time for your golden years. And many experts recommend trying to save at least twice your annual income by age 35. So, for example, if you make $60,000 a year, you'd want to have $120,000 banked by 35 to be on track. So, if you only have $36,000 saved in your mid-30s, you're definitely above average, but that's probably not enough to retire comfortably, unfortunately. The good news is it's never too late to start ramping up your retirement contributions. Even starting in your 40s or 50s can still make a difference. So don't panic if your 401k balance seems low. Just focus on increasing your contributions going forward. Your future retired self will thank you. The third sign you're above average is having more than $2,000 in your emergency fund. I mean, can you sit down and imagine how stressful life would be without having any financial safety net? What if your car suddenly needed a $1,000 repair? Or your fridge is faulty, and its replacement is $800? Not small amounts of money for most people to pull out of thin air. That's why having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved in an emergency fund is so key. It gives you that peace of mind that if an ill-timed expense pops up, you've got the cash to cover it without going into debt. And when you don't have to stress about unexpected bills, it's amazing how much less anxious you feel about money. You can't always predict the future, but you can prepare for it. But how many people are prepared for it, and how prepared are they? According to a Motley Fool survey, the median emergency fund balance is around $2,000. So if you've got significantly more than $2 grand set aside, great job! You're more prepared than a lot of people. But here's the thing. Even having 5 or 10 grand saved may not be enough, depending on your situation. Many experts recommend having 3 to 6 months of total expenses covered in your emergency fund. Because, let's be real, unexpected stuff pops up all the time. What if you suddenly need a $6,000 transmission repair, or get hit with $3,000 in medical bills, or lose your job and need money while finding a new one? A $2,000 emergency fund would disappear pretty quickly, so building up enough to cover 3 to 6 months' worth of real expenses is ideal. The fourth sign on my list is the amount of credit card debt you have to your name. As of the first quarter of 2022, an average credit card holder in America owes nearly $5,800. So if your balance is lower than that, you're doing better than many people, which is something to feel good about. However, even having several thousand in credit card debt can become a huge financial burden with those high interest rates. And America's total credit card debt keeps going up over time, now over $900 billion. Crazy, right? So, while having less debt than average is great, it's crucial not to let your balances spiral upward. Because credit card interest is no joke. It can take years to pay off a balance if you only make minimum payments. For example, if you have $5,000 in credit card debt at an 18% interest rate, it will take over 17 years to pay off if you only pay the minimum, and you'll end up paying nearly $6,500 in interest alone. Outrageous! So while having under $6,500 in credit card debt is a good start, becoming completely debt-free is the real win. Speaking of credit cards, that reminds me, having a strong credit score also shows how above everyone you are with your finances. According to Experian, only 21% of Americans have a credit score of 800 or higher. That's like 1 in 5 people with really good credit. If your score isn't quite that high yet, no worries. There are still ways to improve it over time because maintaining excellent credit is so key for everything from getting approved for loans and credit cards to getting the best interest rates. The two biggest factors in your credit score are making timely payments and keeping credit card balances low. So, all that work we talked about earlier to pay down credit card debt can help boost your credit scores too. It's all connected. Also, you can improve your credit score by setting up auto-pay for bills to avoid missed payments, limiting credit checks by only applying for what you need, and keeping your credit card utilization low each month. Building strong credit takes diligence and patience, but it pays off. Excellent credit means better rates and approvals when you need to borrow money, whether for a car, home, or other large purchase down the road. So, monitor your credit score every few months and take small steps to nudge it upwards. Your 800-plus score future self will thank you. The last sign that shows you're above average is having a worth above $100,000. I know this sounds super formal and businessy, but it's a helpful way to get a big picture view of your finances. Your net worth is simply the value of everything you own from your assets, like cash, home value, and investments, minus everything you owe, like mortgages, student loans, and credit cards. According to the Federal Reserve, the median net worth for folks aged 35 to 44 is around $91,300, while for those aged 45 to 54, it's $168,600. So, if you're between ages 35 and 44, and your net worth is over $100,000, you're doing better than most people. And this wraps up the video on signs that show you that you may be above average financially. I hope this gave you some useful benchmarks to understand where you stand. But like they say, comparison is the thief of joy. Don't get down on yourself if you don't match up to all these metrics. Focus instead on setting financial goals that empower you. Crush your credit card debt. Build your emergency savings. Grow your retirement funds. Not to keep up with anyone else, but for your peace of mind. Your financial situation is unique to you. With time and dedication, you can take control and improve it. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you watching, and let me know any other money topics you want me to cover in the comments. Until next time, make it a rich day.